What's up, guys? My name is Tone Ross, and we have something to talk about, and that is why I traded in my R6 III for the Canon R6V. So if you're new here, again, my name is Tone Ross. I am a creator, filmmaker, photographer, musician, artist, and songwriter from the Northwest Indiana and Chicagoland area. I am also a content creator, so I make vertical videos and YouTube videos like this, as well as content of behind the scenes of some of my client work as well. And reason number one that I traded in the R6 III is because I'm becoming more of a video first shooter. Traditionally, I have been a photographer first, and that has run its course and had its time, but now as things are kind of changing and shifting for me, I am finding a lot more value in making memories and holding on to them, but still both photo and video, but primarily more video. And continuing on with that in mind, I film a lot of behind the scenes of my choir rehearsals. I work with choirs 2 to 3 times per week, and I film those rehearsals to put up content on social, whether that's short form or long form. And the Canon R6 III puts out a beautiful image. I really love that camera. However, with the codecs that are producing the cinema quality video, it just would not hold up as far as the overheating. And there were times where I would need to film a 30 to 45 minute rehearsal or segment of a rehearsal, and the camera would just overheat on me in all of the 4K settings, and that just didn't really work for me. Now, on the other hand, the camera that I'm shooting on right now is the Canon C50. I do own this camera, and I use it for more high-end video production, and so I don't really want to take this one out for run and gun type of, YouTube social media content, because this is a beast of a camera and it can definitely handle it. But when I heard about the R6V and it having some of the same active cooling features and all of this, the cinema quality video codecs and everything like that, I felt like I needed to kind of jump ahead and trade in my R6 III for the Canon R6V. Now, the other piece of the puzzle as it relates to what the R6V can help me with in lieu of the R6 III is I'm filming a lot more podcast style content for my clients, and that is also kind of a similar scenario to me recording my rehearsals. It needs to be 30, 45 minutes, an hour 15 minutes of just straight up 4K 30 or 4K 24. And what I love about the Canon R6V is that it does have the active cooling and the same sensor as the R6 III and the C50, so I can pair these up as an A cam, B cam in any scenario and not have to worry about the overheating at all. The C-Log 2 will match up, the lenses, RF lenses match up, everything just looks great in comparison when you put these two images side by side with the Canon R6V and the C50 for the most part. Now, the Canon C50 is a cinema camera, so it does have a few more features and maybe a little bit more better dynamic range. However, when you're talking about a studio environment, you're going to be able to match these up color for color, bang for bang, without fail. Now, you may be wondering, what cameras do I own in addition to the Canon R6V and the Canon C50? I'm also owning the Canon R5 Mark II and the Canon R3. Now, this kind of freed me up a little bit more as far as my photography side to let go of the R6 III, because the R6 III was kind of serving as my social media content camera as well as my secondary studio camera, backup camera to the Canon R5 Mark II. And I needed to kind of just simplify this whole lineup of cameras to make it make sense for what I was doing. Canon R5 II shoots amazing photo quality and it shoots amazing video, but it does have the same overheating problem as the Canon R6 III. When you put it in 4K 30 or 4K 60, some of these higher frame rates, it does struggle to just continue to go on with the temperature rising, and that temperature meter just kind of makes me have anxiety. And I don't need to have anxiety on set when I'm working with a client and worry if my camera is going to shut down in the middle of a unforgettable, irreversible take. And so I did recently pick up a Tilta cage that has a built-in fan to the Canon R5 Mark II, and I've been testing it out to see if it can work and kind of fit into my workflow if I need a third camera in that setting, but without having to buy the expensive battery grip and without having to have an extra battery to plug into that fan in the Tilta cage. The Canon R6V was an answer to that problem with its own active cooling features. Now, I also have the Canon R3. It is an amazing beast of a camera, shoots 30 frames per second, beautiful 6K video. It's amazing in low light, and this also works with flash. So eliminating the R6 III, already owning the R3, gave me a little bit more peace of mind knowing that I have two photography cameras, although it has 24 megapixels, a little bit drop off from 45. But having those two cameras, R5 II and R3, for my photography, studio, events, all that kind of stuff where I need to use a flash or a strobe, those two cameras can hold up both photo and video wise for that. And if I'm doing an event, those are like bursts of like 60 seconds, 30 seconds of video there, so we're not gonna have the overheating. However, this answers my problem from top to bottom. R6V for personal content, vertical content, social media, YouTube. C50 for professional video as my A camera. Beast, only taking that out for a certain budget and a certain kind of client. Canon R5 II, I'm using that for studio photography, sometimes event photography if I need to carry light. The Canon R3 if I'm doing photo and video for an event, and backup to studio photography. So that's my lineup. I'm really enjoying it. I am invested in the Canon EOS RF lens system, and yeah, I'm loving it so far. Now, if you haven't seen it, I want you guys to go back and check out my previous video, which is my reactions to the Canon R6V, but a couple of things that really kind of nailed the coffin in for me to trade in my R6 III and get the R6V is the vertical aspects of it, right? So it has a vertical mounting point on the camera that eliminates me having to buy a cage. I really enjoy that feature because I can just put my Ulanzi plate on there. I have Ulanzi receivers on all of my tripods in my office and in my car and everywhere that I'm ready to film content right away. So I can just pop that on vertically or horizontally to automatically film content. And a little bit of a quality of life upgrade is that the Canon R6V does have the vertical UI when it switches from horizontal to vertical. Similar to your iPhone or your iPad, it just changes so that you can see everything right side up as opposed to trying to turn your neck sideways to see what your frame rate is or battery life, etc. It just changes automatically, and I really enjoy that. And last but not least, the Canon R6V is just so small and so light. It's smaller than the Canon R6 III, and it kind of reminds me of a camera that I used to own a couple of years ago, and that is the Canon R8. And that, it's just a tiny camera that can go in and out of your bag. It's very lightweight, and I have it paired right now with the Sigma 10 to 18 f2.8, and this kind of operates like a 16 to 35, and it's just super tiny, about a little bit bigger than the 16mm RF, and it does work on this. Like I said, it turns it into a 16 to 30 or 16 to 35 f2.8, and I got a filter on there as well. But this camera is going to be great for everyday usage, EDC camera. If you're traveling a lot, you can put this in a sling or something like that. You don't need a huge backpack for this. And without the microphone, it's square, so it fits in a tighter place if you take this off, but it's still a tinier package than the R6 III with a microphone and a bigger lens and all that stuff on there. The only thing that I don't like about it is that the sensor is exposed when you take the lens off, but for the most part, when you're traveling and out and about, if you just got one lens on there, you're not changing lenses, and you just need to be in and out of a small bag, with the camera, getting clips, vlogging, or whatever. This camera is literally a beast. I can't say enough good things about it. Full-size HDMI, all the features you could want, programmable buttons, 3 custom modes. I mean, it's just literally amazing. I plan to do a full review on this, so if you're new here, please go ahead and like this video, subscribe to the channel so that you do not miss another one. And that's pretty much it for me today, guys. You know, as I say all the time, keep living because your very best days are still yet to come. Oh yeah, and comment any questions you may have about the Canon R6V. Peace.